Hey everybody, hey, this is Curtis May here with Practical Wealth Solutions, your prosperity economics advisor. So, what I get asked a lot, well, Curtis, what do you do? So, I wanted to this is going to be like an introductory video to a 50,000 foot view of our process. We call it Money for Life process, but I want to start at the starting point, taking a 50,000 foot view at your overall personal economy, and then we chunk it down. So this will be a multi-parter, but I'm going to go over the first part first, because when people ask me that, I say, well, I teach people how money works, and we have a unique process in that I help people and our team helps people find money that they are losing unknowingly and unnecessarily. And because what does that mean, Curtis? And so, one of the things that we teach people, folks, that is that there are three types of money. Okay. And let's go here for a second. The three types of money are: there's lifestyle money, there's accumulated money, this is here, and there's transferred money. So most financial advice focuses around accumulated money. So if you talk to a typical financial professional, they want to know, well, how much you got? Well, we can do better. Why don't you move that money over here to us, right? And if you're getting that type of advice, who's the only person whose money's at risk? Yours, right? So how about, and so there's another school of thought, a scarcity school of thought, that is, well, when people think I got to get themselves together, they're always looking at their budget and trying to figure out, how much can I cut out? I can't go, you've got people that tells you, save $1,000, then apply all your money to your debt and double up on your mortgage and pay cash for everything. And you can't go on vacation. Well, who's interested in doing that? Okay, raise your hand. So if that's you want to live a deferred life, probably you should shut this video off, because that's not what Curtis is talking about. And the third type of money, which is where we start with, is through what we call wealth transfers, right? And what is a transfer? A transfer is money that you're losing unknowingly and unnecessarily. Okay, and so those are transfers. So the top 5 wealth transfers are, and I'm going to show you this in another slide, and why that's important is how you pay your mortgage, how you've been trained to pay your mortgage, how you taxes you're overpaying because you have a job and your W-4 is filled out wrong. Just on that, let's talk about that for a second. We call it income shifting. So according to IRS, 7 out of 10 people have their withholding, not their allowances, in their W-4 filled out incorrectly. So taxes is a transfer. So we help people put 3, 5, even upwards to $800 a month back in their pocket by getting back money they're overpaying. And what we've done with that money is we freed up money so that they can save. And then we've also put money so that they can enjoy lifestyle, because we want you to live the best life you can right now. So generally the goal is to help you improve your personal economy without you having to spend new money. And so the third way is how you're taught to fund your retirement plans, your qualified plans. Third is how you pay for education. And 5 is major capital purchases. And so part of, you see at the top, it says we help you be the bank. Banking is helping people create a pool of capital that you control to move at cost to meet some needs you have. And so I'm going to show you the power of that right now, right? And so what you want to be able to do is this, okay? So wait, let's go back. Okay, all right. Sorry for the pause. The uh-oh, where's my Okay, let's do it here. All right. So here we go. So let's talk about the private reserve strategy. So not the private reserve strategy, I'm sorry, the personal, we call this your personal economic model. Everybody has a personal economy. Some is bigger than others. Others is bigger than yours. But the main thing that everybody has in common is that we want our personal economy to grow, right? And so what happens is most people work, you know, what I call earned income, or possibly they're self-employed, right? And so money comes in through the lifetime potential capital tank. So this is a big tank, but money doesn't stay here. You get paid, it flows through your checking account. So here's the inflow. And so this right here, our second video is going to be on cash flow management, because most wealth is lost right here at this pipe. You know, the lack of cash flow management is number one. Then you hit the tax filter, which is this right here, right? And so we're going to lose money to FICA, FUTA, Medicare. And then the typical path of money is in, out, to cover your standard of living, and down the drain, right? So you work, pay bills, out, right? So your mortgage, your car, education, food, entertainment, whatever, miscellaneous stuff. And so we make money. And so I don't care if you make 100 grand a year, 50 grand a year, 200 grand a year. That is the general flow of money. Okay. Now what happens is this. So let's talk about the goal first, and I'm gonna come back to show you what's going on. So the goal is, what I ask people when we talk to them is I'll say, well, listen, is it a goal of yours to at some point in your career to become financially independent? Yes. Okay. Well, what does that mean? I make them guess. And so I like the Jim Rohn definition that basically says you can live like you want to live from your personally invested assets, right? And what is an asset? Something that puts money in your pocket without your labor, okay? And so that's this, right? So we're going to talk about the green and the yellow tank. So what you've got to be able to do is, when money comes in, you've got to forego what I call future lifestyle. I mean, you know, current lifestyle. See, because there's a war going on right now in most people's households with current lifestyle, which is this, current, and future lifestyle, which is the future. And it takes all our money just to do what we got to do today, right? So what we want you to do is you've got to force money up the tanks. We teach start with savings, so you need to start with save money, and you want to save from income, and then you want to invest from your assets, right? And so you want to build your yellow tank, and so your assets are these, right? So this is the yellow tank. So ultimately, in a perfect world, you've got your yellow tank, your green tank full, and then the hope of retirement, which is another story. We don't really believe in that. Is I believe in being able to do what you want to do instead of what you have to, which is a function of cash flow. You can release the valves and live off of that money and maintain your standard of living without working from your yellow and green tank. Preferably your yellow tank is flowing off cash flow, right? So when I'm talking about yellow tanks, I'm not talking about the equity market. So there's 4 asset classes. There's business, there's real estate, there's paper, and there's the commodities, oil, gold, and silver. And so what happens is, but you can, through paper, business, and real estate, you want to generate income, right? That will flow your income. You don't want to just hold your money for 30 years and hope the markets go up. We don't think that's a good strategy, right? And so once you've got that filled up, so you have to save you've got to buy assets. You want to be able to create velocity, and that will allow you to get to financial independence. So one of the things that we try to show people, so that's the goal, right? And so what happens is this. Oops, let's come out of that. Is that we're going to call this little exercise wealth and income calculator. So let's say you're making $100,000 a year. No, let's say you're making $75,000 a year, and you're 42 years old. Okay, and let's say you've been diligent, and maybe between your savings of 401k, you've got $50,000 saved up. And let's say you're averaging a 6% return on your funds. All right. So what the wealth and income potential says is this: at your retirement, quote unquote, your income potential. So if you work between 42 and 65, you will have earned $2.4 million with a 3% growth of your income. You will have had $2.3 million flow through your personal economy. Okay, so the problem is not that you're not making money. Okay, and so what happens is, and if you could live in a basement, not spend it all, your wealth potential, meaning you made all this, you invested at 6% and didn't spend a dime, no taxes, whatever, you would have $5 million, right? Which is, you can't do that obviously, but what I want you to show is that it's not what you earn, is what you keep. So here's the thing. Why is my thing not working? There we go. So this is powerful, guys. So what happens is, let's say you're, so what are the top 5 transfers, right? Taxes, debt, how you pay your mortgage. So let's talk about where's your money going. So right now, if you're making that, you're in pretty much a 30%, it's state and federal, let's say a 30% tax bracket, right? So when that money hits your account, you're going to lose some of it, right, here to the tax man. Right here, right? And so that's just how it is. You gotta, what he said, render unto Caesar what is Caesar. So you gotta feed the dragon, pay your taxes, right? And so what happens is, but you don't have to leave the government a tip, all right? And so now out of that, boom, with this and the opportunity cost, so I'm using the $5 million, folks. So let's say that's $1.4 million between the money you paid and the opportunity costs of that money. That's, see those red lines? That's how much. So now instead of having 5 million, you got 3.6. So now what we found is about 34.5%. Oops, not that. 34 leaves most people's household to service their debt load. So now you're at $1.9 million. Right now, the average savings rate in the United States, as I record this, is 2.7, but I'm just going to say 3%. So out of that $4 million that you made, $5 million wealth potential, what you've been able to accumulate is what? You've had money come through your account. You've been able to accumulate $300,000. And so the question is, how long will that last? Okay. And so because why so much? Because you've made money, right? But so here's what happens. So conventional wisdom tells you that the key to building wealth is to find better investments that pay a higher rate of return. All right. And so let's test that theory. So let's say that, you get a higher rate of return. So let's try that. So let's say we can find these mythical 12% mutual funds a certain financial entertainer always talks about on his show. And so now let's do that. So now, great. If you can average that, and that's like not having any losses. That's maintaining a 12% straight line forward. Well, so that's hard, let's just say. Okay. And so if you believe that, I got a bridge in Brooklyn I'd like to talk to you about. So what happens is, so you've got $1 million, right? I used to tell people, well, how about 11? You know, Bernie Madoff was only applying 11. Right, you got $833,000, so that's good. But $1 million, if you want to keep it safe, and most people aren't coming close to accumulating $1 million. You're not saving nowhere near $1 million, enough money to do $1 million. With your only most people's money is going towards taxes, debt, and lifestyle, and then you save money if you have money left over. So the basic premise that we teach people is you got to pay yourself first, right? And so you have to save what, 10 to 20% of your income. Okay, now how do you do that? So we've seen that you got to make more, pay more taxes. If you're working on a job, which you do need to make more, you need to increase your ability to earn, and then but the only way to get a higher rate of return is to take more risk. So let's just say you can get, I'm just going to lower this down to 5%. Okay, I'm going to be really conservative. So let's say, for example, what if you didn't do anything different, but you looked at ways to restructure yourself so you could lower your rate of taxation? So now, just by doing that and saving the difference, now you've taken your savings up to $715,000. What if you could lower your, or eliminate, but let's say lower the debt service to 15%. If our goal is to eliminate your non-preferred debt, so there's good debt and bad debt, but we want you out of credit card debt, probably car loans, eventually student loan debts, personal lines, and the only debt I want you to have is, I don't really care about paying off your mortgage, and I want you to have, if you're an investor, you definitely don't want to pay off your real estate loans. Not early. I mean, you want to pay them off as they come, but I wouldn't send extra money to them, because you'd be better served using that money instead of giving it to the bank, is to put it back in your bank, which I'm going to show you, and go out and buy more real estate or go out and expand your business or what have you, right? So now let's do that. So if we lowered the debt, boom, that's $1.5 million. And so let's take your lifestyle up a little bit, right? So let's take your lifestyle up to 33. So now, look at that. So now we didn't touch your lifestyle. I didn't tell you couldn't go to Starbucks. All we've done is what? We have looked at ways of making your personal economy more efficient. And then what we ask our clients is, listen, if I find it, will you save it? Okay, and see, so you got to ask yourself, how much risk did you take doing that? None. This is just being a better steward of your resources, right? So what do I mean by that? You know, we teach a system of cash flow management, a 3-bucket system that allows you to begin to save, because what happens is, if you don't do this, what most people are trapped in the debt paradigm. So if you're in debt, debt is an obligation on future incomes, right? On future earnings. And so you have to, more and more of your outgo is going to, so when you get paid, you're basically using future income as collateral, right? And so it's obligating future income and you're sending your money to the banks, to Visa, and then your standard of living suffers because you're still paying for decisions you made 5 years ago. You're still paying for that stuff, okay? And that's still impacting current cash flow. So you've got to eliminate your non-preferred debt, all right? So that is wealth and income potential. So folks, ask yourself, hey, this is how much risk does you have to take? So the focus is on efficiency of money. What we want to help you do is find the money. Then we teach you how to fill your green tank. And then our banking system teaches you to use other people's money, use your money as collateral, because what you do is, what most people do is this. If, let's say they do save, right? So they save and they drain the tank, meaning that you had to use, something comes up, you got to use your savings. Save, you drain the tank, save. And then most people have what I call a put and take account, and they're always putting money in and taking it back out, and you never get anywhere doing that one because you don't understand how much money, you're not making any money when the tank is empty. So what if you could have your cake and eat it too, have money, access your money to go do other things, to buy real estate, to go on vacation, and then from managing your cash flow, treat yourself well, treat your money as if it has a cost, and pay yourself back. So we have another video out there that goes into this section in a little more detail called the private reserve strategy, but this is kind of the front end. So if you're looking at, you're saying things like, well, I'm in debt, I don't know where my money's going, I just need a game plan. This is your game plan. I want you to see your personal economy in total, and then we're going to systematically look at cash flow, look at savings, look at where your risk capital is going, and see how we can maximize your personal economy. And then you can make, as you make more money, now you got a place for it, and everything is more efficient, and you're not subjecting your money to risk, you're minimizing your taxation, you've got liquidity use of control of your capital. And so by starting people here, we help people work for what we call the 4 pillars of a strong personal economy. So ask yourself, as I close, where would you like to end up? And so the 4 pillars of this process that we teach are this: freedom from debt to others. So if you're going to be in debt, then be in debt to your bank, right? Quote unquote, I'm doing air quotes. So banking is just creating a pool of capital, money that you control to move at costs to meet some needs. So I'm not like talking about chartering a bank or something. 2 is to have ready cash when you need it. So you need access to capital where you got liquidity, use and control that's safe. Most people look like this. They have a little bit of savings, and they have, because money's coming right in out of their paycheck, they have most of their money in qualified plans, and they tend to look like this. They just don't have any money they can access without jumping through a bunch of hoops and paying penalties. The 3rd pillar is developing passive income you don't have to work for and you can't outlive. So that's through your business and investment endeavors, and eventually you'll have enough where this is throwing off enough money that you can live off of it. And the 4th pillar is what we call building a legacy of wealth and wisdom, right? So you've got to teach the personal economy, you got to teach prosperity economics, you got to learn it, you got to do it, and then you got to teach it to your kids, to your family, right? So if this is the type of planning that you'd like to pursue, I urge you to reach out to me or somebody on our team at Practical Wealth Solutions. You can email Curtis at kurtmay@gmail.com. You can give my office a call, 610-622-3121. And in the link below, if you'd like to have a short 15-minute talk about, just get to know me and see how this might work for you. We can jump when we work nationally, and so we can jump on a Zoom call and I can, break it down for you. So reach out. Hope this has been helpful, and y'all have a great day.